Dune Part 2 was directed by Denis Villeneuve and it stars Timothée Chalamet as Paul Atreides. And this movie takes place and picks up where we left off of Dune, the first movie. So in this movie, we have Paul Atreides who unites with Chani while on the path of revenge against the Harkonnens who are responsible for destroying his family, and now he must find a way to form and lead his group together to help him on this mission. And now we got our movie. And I gotta tell y'all right off the bat, I was really looking forward to this movie. It's mainly because of the trailers and also because how hyped I was for this movie. And also too, after seeing some of the trailers for this movie, I was like, okay, I'm actually really hyped for this. But then not only that, I heard great, fantastic, awesome reviews for this movie. I heard a lot of people really enjoyed this movie. They said it was one of the best films of the year. I said, okay, it's a must-watch for me. I might as well go see it and see for myself. But then afterwards, after I seen the movie, since I got a chance to see it, this movie was amazing. This movie was awesome. And I have to tell you, Dune Part 2, in my opinion, is easily one of the best movies to come out in 2024. Now, even though, yes, this movie was supposed to come out, the movie was supposed to come out last year in November, but instead, the film got pushed to March of this month. Maybe there was a reason why they had to. Maybe there was a reason why they had to delay this movie to 2023 to 2024. Which, if that's so, I totally understand. So with that down, I guess that's pretty much it. Because I was really looking forward to this movie last year, but instead it got pushed to March of this year. So I was like, okay, I guess I gotta wait till March. And now March is here, and now I got a chance to see the movie, and I really love this movie. But after seeing the first film back in 2021, I loved Dune, the first movie. I quite enjoyed it. It was a lot more enjoyable. The action sequences were good. The shots of the film was pretty good. I loved Dune, the first movie. And I love this one as well. So I guess that's it for that. Let's talk about the actors and the characters themselves. Starting off with is Timothée Chalamet as Paul Atreides. Now, Paul Atreides in this movie, now coming back from the events of the first film, he unites with Chani and the Fremen. Now he wants to go on this path of revenge against the Harkonnens who are responsible for destroying his family. I love the chemistry between him and Chani, and also I like the chemistry between him and his mother in the movie, but we don't really see that much of their chemistry. But actually, we do see a little bit of their chemistry afterwards. It's just completely just gone away. But maybe there was a reason why they had to change that up a little bit, so I totally understand. So, like I said, and also not only that, he wants to become a leader of his own. He wants to become the leader of this group. So I was like, okay, I guess he wants to lead the group and help him on this mission, and there we go from there. And there you go. And Timothée Chalamet is really good as Paul Atreides, and I think that's it for Paul Atreides. Next up is Zendaya as Chani. Now, with Chani in this movie, she gets way more screen time in this movie than she did in the first film. Because in the first movie, she was not in the movie too much. There was some scenes that she was in the first film, but then because of that, she was not in the movie all that much. In this one, she gets way more screen time in this movie. With Chani in this movie, not only she's the love interest, but she also is part of Paul Atreides' group as well. I like the fact that her and Paul Atreides have good chemistry, not only in the first movie, not only like later on in the first film, but also in this one. They had way more chemistry in this movie than they did in the first film. And not only that, because she wants to help him out on this mission on the path of revenge against the people who were responsible from destroying his family. And I think that's pretty much it for that. And there you go. And Zendaya as Chani is really good in this movie, and that's all I can say for Chani. Next up is Rebecca Ferguson as Lady Jessica. With her coming back from the events of the first film, it's so good to see her again after the events of the first movie. Now, with her character in this movie, I don't want to say much. I mean, I don't want to really say anything much, but all I know is I really like what in this movie. I like the fact that she actually helps her son Paul Atreides help him out on this mission, but not really as much. There's sometimes she's in the movie a lot, but there's sometimes later on in the movie she isn't in the movie too much. But actually, she is, but not as much as I can see that I actually see. So, But she does have good chemistry with her son, after all, like she did in the first film, including in this one. But their chemistry is not really much into the movie, and I think that's pretty much it for for all of that. And I think that's it. And Rebecca Ferguson as Lady Jessica is really good in this movie, and that's all I can say for Lady Jessica. Next up is Javier Bardem as Stilgar. Now, Stilgar in this movie, because I forgot that he was in the first movie. I was like, oh, he was in the first movie. I literally forgot. I just haven't seen Dune the first movie since it came out back in 2021. But then he is in this movie. It's so good to see him again from the events of the first movie. So with Stilgar in this movie, with Stilgar in this movie, I don't want to say anything. I don't want to say much of him, but all I can say is that he's in the movie a lot, because I think in the first film, he only showed up later on during the movie in the first film. In this one, he gets a lot more screen time, or some screen time in this movie. But yeah, and also too, not only that, he also helps Paul Atreides out on this mission and form this group together, and that's all I can say for that. But Javier Bardem is really good in this movie. Is really good in this movie as Stilgar, and that's all I can say for Stilgar. But then, last but not least, definitely not least, mostly kind of like the main villain of the movie, and guess who that would be? Austin Butler as Fed Vatha. Now, Fed Latha in this movie, Austin Butler as Fed Latha, Vatha is really good in this movie. Sorry about that. It's really good in this movie. So in this movie, Fed Vatha in this movie, the only thing that he wants to do in this movie that he can fight. This is the guy. He goes out whenever he goes outside. Everything is just all black and white. When he goes back inside, everything is just back in color. But then afterwards, sometimes when he goes back outside again, it's just straight color. But in this one, the only thing that he wants to do is to fight and resort to violence. That's the character right about here. He wants to resort to violence, and actually he wants to fight. That's the only thing that he wants to do in this movie. And I think that's pretty much it for him. And Austin Butler is really good as Fed Vatha, and that's all I can say for Vatha, my bad. And that's all I can say for Fed Vatha, and that's it. And that's it for the actors and the characters themselves. Now let's talk about the action. Now let's talk about some of the action sequences. Some of the action sequences are helmed perfectly with really interesting IMAX cameras, which I'll talk about the shots a little bit later. So there were some action set pieces here and there, but there are most action sequences and some training sequences I really, really like. There are a lot of cool moments with some of the action sequences and some of the final fights, and with the final fight and the final battle. I loved it. It was amazing. With this film taking place in the desert, with this movie taking place in the desert, there's some action, in this movie, in the middle of the desert, in the middle of nowhere, which I really love and quite enjoyed for the most part. That's what I really liked about some of the action scenes. With this director using with IMAX cameras, I think he used either IMAX cameras or just actual movie cameras, or just mostly IMAX cameras for that matter. But the way he uses really clear shots, you can see everything. You can pretty much tell exactly what's going on. What I really liked about this film, not only is the shots of the film are clear, that you can pretty much tell exactly what's going on. The movie does take its time. The movie doesn't feel rushed. The movie doesn't go back and forth, just rushing here to this scene and that scene. The movie actually takes its time, not only to tell the story, so you can know exactly what's going on. So you can know what this character is doing, what these other characters are doing. And that's what I really liked about this film. And also, I was going to ask, I don't know, I was going to say this, I don't know if we're going to get a Dune Part 3, which is hard to tell if we're going to get a Dune Part 3 or not. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. If we do, I hope so. I mean, if so, we'll probably get it in the near future. But anyway, in this movie, so in this film, that's what I really liked about this movie. This is what I really liked about this movie. Everything in this movie feels perfectly helmed well. And yes, this movie is 2 hours and 46 minutes long. This is a long-ass movie. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with it. At least I got a chance to enjoy the movie myself, because the film is is a very long take. The film the movie is a very long take, and and this movie is like a very, very long movie. And with the first movie was actually pretty long. This one was probably a lot more longer than the first movie was. But I guess that's pretty much it for that. But what I really like, so anything else about this movie? I mean, not exactly. I think that's all I can say for this movie. The rest of this movie is absolutely fantastic. I love the hell out of this movie. This movie gives me all the hypes, and this movie is one hell of a ride. I think this movie is, I'm glad I got a chance to see the movie. Since I saw the movie, I loved it. And that's all I can say, and I hope we do get a part 3 in the near future, hopefully, if we do get a part 3. So, like I said, I guess that's pretty much wraps it up for Dune part 2, and I think that's it for that. So, there's nothing much else to say, so be sure to like, subscribe, post notification button, follow me on Instagram, comment down below, and I'll see you in my next video, and thank you for watching.